Welcome to Tactical Takeover. Those of you who have been here before know that this is where I'll spend 10-15 minutes previewing tonight's game against Bournemouth in the Carabao Cup second round, going through what I'd like to see as the lineup, the players that I quite like at Bournemouth, etc., etc. So let's get it underway with what I like about Bournemouth. I was having a conversation with people within the pub, a few West Ham fans, when this draw came out, and we were obviously paired with Bournemouth. I've got a lot of respect for Bournemouth as a football club. They've gone about things the right way, you know, the way they've stuck at it and created themselves, not necessarily being a force in the Premier League. There was a time when, you know, we were quite happy just to be staying in the Premier League, become a mainstay in the Premier League, and then obviously push on. Bournemouth have done that. Bournemouth have become like a mainstay in the Premier League for the last 4 or 5 years. You know, they came back up, I believe it was under Scott Parker. They got promoted again, and now they've stuck around for a little while. Smallest ground in the Premier League, you know, I think was it 12,000, 13,000? I might be wrong. It might be a little bit more, but it's a small ground. I watched them play the other week. And they're not a bad side. They're one of the sides, you know, when you consider now what happens with the teams coming up, going down, and the PSR rules and everything else, they're going to be sticking around for a while, because obviously certain clubs that come up are not going to be financially viable to stay up. So, you know, they're going to stick around for a while. And Iraola, you know, he's a good manager. I wouldn't have minded him at West Ham, you know, on the swap over with Moyes before we got Lopetegui. Now, that being said, you know, they're the players that I admire. Again, I watched them play the other day, or last week, I actually think it was, and Semenyo. He looks dangerous. We could have our work cut out with him if we're not careful. You know, the way they play, the way that, you know, they like to play on the front foot. They like to attack teams. And, you know, he's going to be key to what they do. Another player, a few players that I actually like, Sinistera. Again, another player that I wanted at West Ham. I actually think he's a good player. Came off the bench the other day. And Justin Kluivert, again, he was another player that, for those who've watched this channel for a fair while, he was a name that I mentioned probably 18 months to 2 years ago that I would have loved to have seen join us. So I've got some attacking talent that we will need to be careful of going into tonight's game. That being said, over to West Ham, and I think what you'll see tonight will be a few changes. I think what you'll see tonight will be those on the fringe getting some game time. Now, by those on the fringe, I don't mean the likes of Cornet. I don't mean the likes of probably Agard. You know, I mean the likes of Ward-Prowse, Aaron Cresswell, Fabianski, you know, the ones that are going to be sticking around this season. Let's put it that way. We've got what, 3 days left, 2 days left. 2.5 days left of the transfer window now. And, you know, if the rumours are to be believed, we're going to struggle to keep hold of Alvarez. Might have a little knock on the door for Kudus, from what I've been informed. Whether or not I believe it is a different story. But tonight's team, you know, I'd like to think we have enough going forward in the way that Lopetegui wants us to play, to be able to progress, win tonight, progress. It does go to penalties. I'm not sure how I feel about that, but we should have enough to progress. Now, that being said, the team I'd like to see would be Fabianski in goal. I'd like to see him get some game time. He's still a capable goalkeeper. Yes, he's at the tail end of his career, the latter stages, if you will. But I'd like to see him get some game time, because if Areola, heaven forbid, does get injured, then we're going to need someone ready to step in and take his place. And I'd like Fabianski to at least have some minutes under his belt before, or in case that happens. And the fact that we might have two, possibly more in this competition, that's where he can get his minutes. Right back, I'd like to see Aaron Wan-Bissaka get his first start. I'd like to see him, came off the bench against Palace at the weekend, look really good, look really solid, and I'd like to see him get some game time. I'd like to see him play alongside. I'd like to see him play with Todibo in there. I'd like to see Kilman carry on. I'd like to see how Kilman plays with Todibo over that side. And then I'd like to see Cresswell come in for Emerson. I'd like to give Emerson the break. He's played, the first two games. I'd like to see Emerson get, take a break and Cresswell step in. Then I'd like to see Alvarez in the holding role, continue to get some minutes under his belt, and selfishly make him cup tied for Manchester United. Come into the third round if they decide to make a move for him. Selfish, I don't care. Then the next, the four in front of him, I'd like to see Somerville get a start on the left. I'd like to then see Paqueta and Kudus in the middle. Part of me would like to see Giame out on the right instead of Bowen, but if Bowen would be obviously club captain, I'd like to see him start out there. But I would like to see Giame get the nod, and then up front, I'd like it to be Fulkrug. If you do that, and you then consider the bench, you can put Rodriguez on the bench, you can put Soufal on the bench, you can put Emerson. If Giame starts, Bowen, Antonio. It's a strong bench with some options. Souček to come in, I'm not being funny. If you bring Souček in, if you were 1-0 down with, 25 minutes to go, dump Souček into the mix, tell him to get forward, start lumping them balls into the box. Good things can happen. We know this. We've seen this happen. I'm excited for tonight. I've had to make it a quick one. The reason I've been a little bit absent is I've had a very bad back. I've got a trapped nerve in the lower back, and I've been in a hell of a lot of pain, struggling to sit, struggling to stand, struggling to move at times. I've taken a few hours off of work today to try and get the video done and to take some painkillers and stuff. So hopefully I'll be back tomorrow with another video for you, talking about the fact that we've won. All depends obviously on my back, obviously with work related and stuff. I will be doing some bits post transfer deadline. I won't be able to do you a full video of the day as we have done in the past, just because work is intervening. Unfortunately, I'm not able to produce content in the same rate as the guys at Hammers Chat, West Ham Network, the extra channels, etc. Because they're privileged in the sense that this is their full-time job, and I'm really pleased for them. They get the support. I support them both, and I allow them to do that. They upload some great content, which is significantly better than mine, so I have to do a job elsewhere. Is what it is, isn't it? But good luck to them. I really, like I say, I support them. I subscribe to Patreon and to their YouTube channels, so I'm pleased for them to keep doing that. If you haven't already done so, guys, drop a like on the video. If you haven't, obviously subscribe, because I do believe 75 or 80% of my viewers of my videos don't subscribe. So please hit the subscribe button. Even if not worried about coming back and catching more, just hit that subscribe button for me. It does me a favor. And when you like this video, it obviously then promotes the video on YouTube and gives YouTube kind of the algorithm to push me forward as one of the viewed videos when people type in West Ham. So I'll be appreciative of that. Let's hope for a win tonight. My prediction would be going to go 2-1 West Ham. 2-1. I can see it being a bit nervy in the last 15 minutes, but I can see us getting the job done. In Lopetegui we trust. And I shall see you hopefully tomorrow. Come on, you Irons.